Hello and welcome to another marvelous video. We are back again to talk more about our favorite Transformers. When we think of giant monstrous beings taking over a city, we usually think of the kaijus from the movies. The name kaiju was developed for a certain genre in Japanese movies that featured huge monsters. Nevertheless, these creatures were also referred to as kaijus. They are typically seen destroying large cities and engaging in combat with either the army or other kaijus. The most popular examples of kaijus are our beloved Godzilla, King Kong, and other less recognized creatures like Mothra, Gamera, etc. They were thought to be one of the largest fictional creatures to have ever appeared in any kind of visual entertainment, till the arrival of certain Decepticons. Depending on their size, these Decepticons range in height from a few centimeters to one whole world. So today, we will look at 9 of the biggest Decepticons and rank them according to their sizes. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us, it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin. Number 1. Unicron. Approximately 140,000 kilometers in diameter. Starting off the list with the biggest of all. Unicron, also known as the Planet Eater, Lord of Chaos, and the Chaos Bringer, is hell-bent on eradicating the multiverse. His enormous body is propelled by the devouring of planets, moons, stars, and even the fabric of reality. Unicron will not be satisfied until he achieves his ultimate goal, to end the bothersome creation that boasts independence around him and finds serenity by being the living center of a whirling, limitless river of emptiness at the end of all things. Unicron is able to wander among realities at will, a meandering blight upon existence itself, to take on this seemingly impossible mission. In his systems are integrated unfathomable quantum computers that calculate probabilities backward and forward in the time in perpetuity, providing his processors with an ever-changing, developing map of the multiverse. Unicron has eaten about 22.56% of known universes so far using these skills. Speaking of its origin, we should know. Order and chaos existed before the birth of time within an extra-dimensional entity known as the One. To investigate the new cosmos, he created Unicron, a cosmic creature, and then subdivided him to make Primus his twin. Both brothers were multiversal anomalies, unique in all realities, but although Unicron could only exist in one world at a time, shifting between them at will, Primus existed in all realities simultaneously. It is argued, in fact, that the two brothers symbolize the fundamental principles of reality, good and evil, or order and chaos, and that their continuing existence is required for the multiverse's stability. His characteristics are comparable to those of Galactus from the Marvel world. He first appeared in the 1986 film Transformers the Movie. He was the main character in the film, and he was determined to kill everything in the cosmos, beginning with stars, asteroids, and planets. Unicron is unrivaled in his gigantic body and alternative form as a planet. Number 2. Metro Titan, 3.2 kilometers. Metro Titan, built by the Autobots on Saturn's moon Titan, is a massive warrior with a powerful freeze beam that could stop most enemies cold. Unfortunately for the Autobots, it defected to the Decepticons and was trained in the methods of evil by the 9 great demon generals led by Violet and Gigwar. It's unclear if his defection was a conscious decision or the product of coercive training, but Metro Titan and his erstwhile comrades have eventually embraced his wicked ways. In one reality, he is an Autobot allied Titan who serves as Earth's Autobot city. Metro Titan was named head of the Metro Squad, and his first mission after activation was to assault Rabi Crater's Autobot Lunar Zone headquarters on Earth's moon. He was also entrusted with attacking an Autobot colony in a remote location. Metro Titan's huge size allowed him to officially exterminate the settlement, even killing Galaxy Shuttle, an Autobot veteran, during his attack on Zone Base. Metro Titan departed Zone in search of an edge, then returned with a freezing beam cannon to convert the planet into an ice grave. The entrance of a third powered master dubbed Roadfire, however, caught the Decepticon fighter off guard, and his freezing power was quickly negated by Rhodes' firepower. Metro Titan was soundly defeated by Roadfire when his new weapon was destroyed. Number 3. Tidal Wave, 610 meters. Tidal Wave is a formidable opponent to contend with. He is a foul-tempered, foul-mouthed, and 14 stories tall Decepticon, but he is too obstinate and thick for his own good. This aquatic giant is a tremendous fighter, powerful and large enough to contain innumerable lesser comrades and more. The Tidal Wave can offer destructive weapons even as a non-sentient warship, and as a robot, he can link up with the Titan Master Fathom to release even more power. He usually assumes the appearance of a military cruiser, however he is made up of 3 lesser warships to compensate for his massive size. He rose to prominence after first appearing in Transformers Armada, leading to him starring in numerous additional Transformers series. Tidal Wave was initially sent to Earth by Decepticon strategist Thrust in a bid to reinforce Decepticon troops in order for them to obtain the Requiem Blaster. In combat, he is brutal and an uncompromising destroyer, making him one of the most powerful Decepticons ever. Number 4. Driller, 330 meters. Drillers are Cybertron's biggest underground life form. They are massive, multi-tentacled animals capable of easily digging into the earth or through buildings and are capable of enormous havoc and slaughter on any scale. They are only partially sentient and can only heed simple orders. They also establish a solid attachment to their masters. These characteristics naturally appeal to Shockwave, who owns one as a pet and personal transport. These are mainly burden creatures, primarily utilized for mining work. On the other hand, the one possessed by Shockwave was developed particularly for military usage and is far bigger than a usual member of its species. It first appeared in the 2011 film Transformers: Dark of the Moon, where it served as Shockwave's steed in Warhound and was summoned with its master to battle Optimus Prime after Alexei Vokshad called Ness to Chernobyl. This was all a ruse to keep the Autobots from realizing that the Decepticons really wanted them to uncover the Ark's fuel cell, which was hidden within the facility. Shockwave escaped from the fuel cell when Optimus took it from the Driller, and the duo swiftly went below. The encounter left Optimus disturbed and enraged at the humans for concealing the Ark from the Autobots. Later, during the Decepticon attack in Chicago, the Driller proved to be a devastating menace from below, isolating Optimus from his trailer and its flight technology. Under Shockwave's direction, it crept inside through a collapsing skyscraper to flush out Sam Witwicky and his comrades, causing the structure to break in half, the top piece smashing into another. As the Driller arrived to kill the humans, Optimus fought it in midair with his jetpack and enhanced weaponry from his trailer. The Driller's tentacles were hampered as it attempted to fight back, and Optimus fought back by ramming his entire body through its neck, killing it.
You can't do that!
Number 5. Trypticon, over 300 meters in city mode. Trypticon, massive in size and power, is an unstoppable destroyer. He is designed only to feel hatred. He is utterly unrelenting, entirely without mercy, and firmly refuses to halt his onslaught until all that remains of his victim is their burning remains. He despises the Autobots to the point of destroying an entire city just to get it won, but he equally despises his fellow Decepticons, which means he is not emotionally devoted to their cause because he finds as little value in them and what they fight for as he does in everything else. While previous intelligent Decepticon cities have existed, Trypticon was the first to emerge in any continuity. Between those continuities, his brain and demeanor shift from a lumbering near animal to an insightful assassin bent on Decepticon leadership. Trypticon's scale is similarly unpredictable. He is usually represented as huge, but whether that implies being 2 to 3 times the size of a standard Transformer, literally city-sized, or something else is seldom constant. Another characteristic that should be constant, given how frequently it is mentioned, is his eye's ability to produce hypno beams that corrupt the will of other Transformers. However, he has never been observed using them. Trypticon is frequently joined by the more miniature robots, such as the self-driving Wipeout and the drones, Brunt and Full Tilt. They operate and maintain Trypticon's gigantic artillery platform alternative mode in a form so deadly that the Autobots must generally rely on deceit to defeat him. The only Autobot that can compete with him is Metroplex, and the two cities have a bitter rivalry, though their conflicts nearly always end with Trypticon being thrown into the sea.
All I remember of my beginning is hunting.
Number 6. Predaking, 220 meters. Predaking is a beast constructed by the Decepticons from his predecessor's corpse and brought to life by Shockwave's technology. Megatron had expected this ostensibly simple-minded dragon to blindly obey his commands, but Predaking has proven that he is considerably more than what meets the eye. Predaking has made it clear that he is as brilliant as any of Megatron's soldiers, with a soldier spirit and no lack of ambition, since exposing his ownership of a robot form. While he has frequently declared his devotion to his master and lord, Megatron has taken note of his desire to head a reborn Predacon race, not to mention his high self-assigned title. He is Project Predacon's first living organism. Shockwave, Predaking's creator, cloned him from the petrified bones of his original body. Predaking began as a primitive hunter without speaking capacity and no apparent higher intelligence. But after spending some time with the Decepticons, Predaking's intelligence grew. He finally mastered the power to change, earning him the moniker Predaking. As a bot, he was devoted to Megatron, but grew somewhat ambitious and a touch proud of his powers, something Megatron has become scared about. Megatron terminated Project Predacon due to Predaking's intellect to prevent mutiny, but maintained Predaking as their primary asset for combating Autobots. Predaking is shown to be the most powerful Transformer presently in existence, having only been beaten by Unicron. He now lives on Cybertron with the Autobots, alongside his Predacon compatriots, Skylynx and Darksteel, showing that, contrary to Megatron's earlier ideas, more than one species can coexist happily in their restored world. Following Unicron's demise, Predaking and his two Predacon brothers arrived in Dark Mount to wreak their vengeance on Starscream. While the Decepticon ranks have harbored many aspiring up-and-comers with an aim for domination, Predaking may be the only one Megatron has really dreaded. Number 7. Majin Zarak, 200 meters. When a strange time-warping gadget crash-landed on planet Gaia, the Maximals, commanded by Leo Convoy, and the Predacons, headed by Galvatron, rushed to be the first to get it. Their initial effort failed, but Galvatron tricked Leo Jr. into handing the Predacons the device's key. They triggered it, intending to call Megatron. Unfortunately, Gigastorm conducted the calculations incorrectly and ended up raising Majin Zarak, the giant Decepticon. Majin Zarak is a ruthless murdering monster dreaded by Maximals, Predacons, and anyone else who sees his might. He has no sympathy or regret, and he goes about murdering as one would go about breathing. He is unconcerned about it. Majin Zarak's origins are unknown. He was made hundreds of years ago, only to disappear without a trace. He is an unstoppable force comparable only to Armageddon. Due to his aquatic aircraft carrier alt mode, this enormous death machine is capable of assaulting the battleground from both land and water. The energy weaponry and ammunition that outfit his massive robot form can sweep the battlefield in moments with a total slash and burn strategy. Finally, Majin Zarak is a sentient entity with his own reckless will. He also has a weak area on his forehead, leaving him vulnerable to anyone who's ever played a video game, if you know what I mean. Number 8. Blackout, 100 meters long in helicopter mode. Blackout was a strong and viciously loyal Decepticon who served as Megatron's third in command after Starscream. It was unusual to see him towering silently alongside Megatron, but if he wasn't by his master's side, he'd be helping him in the field. Blackout also had a symbiotic buddy named Scorponok. He debuted in the 2007 film Transformers, where he flew to the US Ascent facility in Qatar. When he refused to identify himself, the base dispatched 2 F-22s to accompany him. Suspicions were heightened further when one of the pilots reported the registration number 4500X, which belonged to a helicopter that had been wrecked 3 months previously. Blackout then changed and launched his attacks, surrounded by troops on all sides. He went to the operations bunker and ripped off the roof. Blackout attempted to download some classified material, but was stopped. However, he resumed his rampage, murdering anybody who dared to oppose him. Blackout's ultimate battle occurred when he harnessed his propellers and prepared to assist Megatron in his struggle against Optimus Prime. The military marked him with lasers and ordered the F-22 Raptors to fire on him. Captain Lennox came at him on a motorbike and fired a sabot bullet into his groin when Blackout detected the lasers and assaulted the humans. The F-22s then blasted Blackout with rapid shots. All of this was too much for Blackout and he died, his body dumped into the Laurentian abyss. Number 9. Devastator, 100 feet tall. Devastator was a massive man-eating Decepticon combiner composed of multiple Constructicons. Devastator was tremendously strong and even more aggressive. Nevertheless, due to his shallow mental ability, he could only be utilized to eradicate on a genocidal scale. The character first appeared in Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, released in 2009, when 8 robots, Scavenger, Hightower, Mixmaster, Scrapper, Scrap Metal, Skipjack, Overload, and Longhaul all gathered up in Egypt on the instructions of Megatron and Megatronus, the Fallen. His 8 components were subsequently changed and merged to produce Devastator. During the Battle of Egypt, he was utilized by the Decepticons to locate the Star Harvester. Devastator could produce huge gravity wells by constructing an artificial black hole in his mouth with his vortex grinder, which drew adjacent things into his open mouth and devoured them. After making its presence felt, he immediately began taking massive moves towards Seymour, Simmons, and the Autobots Skids and Mudflap under Megatron's command. Devastator then started eating anything in his path, including the Earth and a van. Devastator even consumed Mudflap entirely, who was unable to hang on. As Devastator realized Mudflap was still alive inside him, the small Autobot slashed his way out of the combiner through its skull, ripping away one of his eyes. Megatron ordered Devastator to climb the Great Pyramid of Giza and expose the Star Harvester after failing to murder the twins and Seymour Simmons. However, the USS Kidd fired their experimental rail cannon, forcing the injured combiner to tumble from the pyramid, falling down to a massive crash before he was able to safely separate his parts, sending the dead Mixmaster soaring from the ruins to a smoky halt, killing Devastator. Marvelous verdict. That brings us to the end of this video. The Transformers series has been running for over 40 years through comic books, animated series, and live-action films. A lot of these characters are yet to make their debut on the big screen, and since Transformers Rise of the Beasts, the latest installment in the franchise, is set to be released this year, who knows? Maybe we will be able to get introduced to new characters and perhaps even a few from this list very soon. Who's your favorite Decepticon after Megatron? Let us know in the comments below. If you like this video, click the like button and share it with all your friends. I'll see you in the next one.